But Ola Electric is all set to make its debut in the Lal Street. The company's IPO will be opening from the 2nd of August till the 6th. Yash caught up with the company's chairman and MD, Bhavish Aggarwal, and CFO, Harish Abhichantani. Listen in.
From the beginning, our issue is largely a primary issue. Even now, if you think almost 90% or more than 90% of the capital raise is going to be primary.
Correct.
Because we are investing for growth and we are investing for making this company and the Indian EV ecosystem much larger. So the secondary was always a small portion of it, and my share was a small part of that. And you're right, I have cut back a little bit because I do feel there's a lot of growth ahead. There's a lot of opportunity for investors to make money ahead, and I also see my own, share value rise in the future.
Okay. Harish, to you, as far as the objects or the proceeds are concerned, you also mentioned that about 800 crores is what you expect to use towards repayment of certain borrowings. Where do the consolidated borrowings at this point of time stand for the company with the utilization of the IPO proceeds? Where do they go to? And what is a comfortable level that you see as far as borrowings are concerned? Would you again look to raise it as growth picks up going ahead? Or do you think these would be the levels after the reduction where you would want to stay at?
So if you look at our borrowing strategy, where we have borrowed is for creating assets.
Correct.
And we are continuing to strengthen our balance sheet. Hence, one of the objectives of the issue is actually repay of debt, because it further strengthens our balance sheet as we go into the new journey. And we always borrowed and have borrowed only for creating the two-wheeler factory, a gigafactory. So our investments have been, obviously, we contribute our equity into it, and the borrowings are, substantiate that to that projects. So our borrowing strategy is primarily driving creation of sustainable tangible assets. So it's not for any other working capital use or anything like that.
Correct.
So borrowing strategies look, if we are embarking on these mega projects, banks are more than willing to participate in that journey with us. We are bringing in our share of equity, and banks are contributing the rest. So that's how borrowing strategy kind of spans out.
What will be the revised number post you use those proceeds, and how would it impact the finance cost largely for the company once the number goes down at this point?
So clearly with repayment of borrowings, finance costs will drop. So we are using 800 crores from the IPO proceeds to reduce our borrowing. And hence the finance cost will drop. And the thing is that the overall borrowing is largely, as I said, we have a term loan for a gigafactory and we have a term loan for our two-wheeler factory. So those term loans will remain on the balance sheet, and there are long-term term loans around it.
Okay. Bhavish, I want to speak to you a little about the revenue also. FY23, we saw a 6x jump. FY24, it almost doubled revenue from operations. What I want to understand from you, and I'm sure investors would want to look at that, by how soon do you expect some sort of stability in the revenue, that it's consistent at a particular level? What would be that consistent growth that you see in your revenues? And of course, by when do you expect to achieve that consistency or predictability in the revenue growth?
Yes, we've seen very strong revenue growth. Like you said, FY23 over 22 was almost 6x, or slightly higher probably. And FY24, which we saw in the RHP, was almost double. 5,300 crore almost from 2,700 crores.
Yes.
So we've seen very strong revenue growth, and I actually believe as a business and as an opportunity, we're just scratching the surface. EV is a mega trend, one of the most important mega trends in automotive after 100 years. 100 years ago, automotive moved from coal engines to internal combustion engines, and it's that level of a shift. And we are just scratching the surface within scooters, and so far we have a portfolio of scooters. In our book, we've talked about how our bikes are going to come along over the next year. So the potential for electrification of India's automotive segment is very large. And as we go along, we've also focused on building a foundation for electrification. Our strategy has been focused on vertical integration, building core manufacturing capabilities in-house, and especially the core R&D capabilities like our cell, which is going to be a foundation for accelerating EV penetration by reducing cost and by making core technology in India. And as we keep executing on this foundational element of our business model, the EV penetration will continue to rise category after category. So far it's scooters, then it'll be motorbikes, etc., etc. So I do foresee this whole opportunity for us and the whole industry, frankly, to grow into. Our revenues, I can't put a number to it today, as you understand, but we do expect revenue growth, and even after FY24, over the last 3 months, the monthly numbers are all in public domain in this industry. on the Vahan portal. So you can see how our volumes have continued to grow over last year.
Two interesting things that, of course, the company is also in the process of working on. One is the electric car and the electric bike. On both those aspects, how would you want to sort of people to look at that, both those interesting avenues? When does electric bike come on board? When does the car come on board? What are the plans?
Bike is something we are very excited about. We announced our bikes last year, 15th August, and as you know, your viewers also would know, 15th August is our annual product launch day.
Correct.
For 3 years, we've been launching new products every 15th August, India's Independence Day. So this year also, we have something very exciting lined up for 15th August, which is roughly a week after our listing, so it will be even more exciting.
Correct.
So last 15th August, we showcased bikes. And hopefully we will have some very exciting announcements this year to showcase on the bike front to people. Car, we have always been clear that it's not part of our agenda. Right? We are focused on the two-wheeler space. Scooters is where we have a lot of scale already. And now the next focus for us is the bikes.
Okay. One last question to you as we conclude this interaction. I was just looking at the RHP document also. You are currently working at about 49% capacity utilization. What is the level that you're looking at here? What can this be scaled up to? And with that kind of, what would be the additional manufacturing that would come on board?
Let me first explain the capacity side. So our infrastructure, which is the two-wheeler factory, is actually built for up to 4 million units. The whole civil infrastructure, the utilities, etc., that's all geared to handle up to 4 million. We have an installed capacity within the factory for 1 million units. And this 49% is, of course, historic March, and as we see the current data, we see that trend going up. So we are well on verge to use our capacity in the current financial year. And other than that, capacity utilization will continue to grow as we scale up. The motorcycles are going to come. So as the product launches happen, the capacity utilization will continue to grow. But we have designed a capacity for a significantly larger scale. Investments have been made upfront, and as we leverage that, the performance capacity will go up.